Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum students. Today we'll do the next unit, Jinnah's Vision of Pakistan, unit number 1.2. The SLOs read and understand the character of the role models and comprehend the message and theme in the context. Page number 22, second paragraph. The first page and the first paragraph on the second page we had already completed in the last lecture. Now we'll go to next page, page number 22, second paragraph. Dealing with our first function in the assembly, I cannot make very well considered pronouncement at this moment. So it says that dealing with this first function in the assembly, I cannot make any well considered pronouncement. Pronouncement means an official statement at this moment. He says that he cannot pass any categorical remarks about the future of Pakistan. But I shall say a few things as they occur to me. As they occur to me, they come into my mind. He has some opinions which come into in his mind, some suggestions, some ideas which come into occur to my mind in his mind. The first and the foremost thing that I would like to emphasize is this. So he says the first thing that occurs to him, and that is first and foremost. This is idiomatic phrase, idiom, first and foremost, that is something which is more important, the most important rather. That I would like to emphasize that I will like to stress, because the point has great importance. Remember that you are now of a sovereign legislative body and you have got all the powers. God says to the members of the legislative assembly that they have all the power to make decisions. Sovereign legislative body. Sovereign means a body of persons, people who have all the rights to make decisions, who can make independent decisions. Sovereign legislative body. Legislative body is the body that makes laws for the country, and you have got all the power. It therefore places on you the gravest responsibility as to show you should take your decision. The first observation that I would like to make is this. You will no doubt agree with me that the first duty of the government is to maintain law and order, so that the life, property, and religious beliefs of its subjects are fully protected by the state. So in this paragraph, the crux of this, the gist of this paragraph is that the Qaid wishes that the first legislative body should chalk out, should make some laws and orders for the country, so that those orders and laws will ensure the safety and protection of the life and property of people and their religious beliefs. Beliefs of its subjects. Subjects are the people who live in one country. Public people of the country. The second thing that occurs to me is this. One of the biggest curses from which India is suffering. The second thing. First was law and order. Now he is stressing the second thing, and he believes the second thing is the biggest curse, biggest something which is troublesome, a sin, a curse from which India is suffering. I did not say that other countries are free from it. But I think our condition is much worse. Is bribery and corruption. Shahid says that bribery and corruption, these two nuisances, two crimes, they are very much prevalent. They are very much in fashion in India, although they exist everywhere in all the countries to some way or other. But in India, it is very common. That reality is a poison. So bribery and corruption are they work like poison. We must put that down with an iron hand. The guide resolves, makes firm decision. He is very much determined to crush this curse of bribery and corruption. To put down means to crush something, to give a blow to something. This is idiomatic phrase again. With an iron hand is also an idiom. With full force, with full power, iron hand. And I hope that you will take adequate measures as soon as it is possible for this assembly to do so. So he emphasizes the legislative body to make such laws that there won't be any bribery and corruption in the country, and they should take adequate measures. Adequate means enough, too much, sufficient measures, steps. They should take some very much relevant steps to uproot the corruption and bribery from the country. The next thing that strikes me is this. So, two and the third thing, the next thing, the third thing that strikes to me is that occurs to me, that comes into my mind. Here again, it is legacy which has been passed to us along with many other things, good and bad, has arrived this greatest evil, the evil of nepotism and jobbery. The third thing the assembly will have to do is uproot nepotism and jobbery. Then Kai said nepotism and jobbery. Nepotism is to show some favoritism to the relatives, the people, the friends, and jobbery is misuse of office property for personal and private gains. So these are after bribery and corruption, nepotism and jobbery. These are two crimes. Along with many other things, good or bad, has arrived this greatest evil, the evil of nepotism, and they have got, I believe that we got it in legacy, because in India it had been in practice for long times. I want to make it quite clear that I shall never tolerate any kind of jobbery, nepotism, or any influence directly or indirectly. So Qaid resolves, he is very much determined that he will never tolerate, never bear. He will never bear, never tolerate any kind of jobbery and nepotism, whether it is he is forced directly or indirectly, brought to bear upon me. That comes to me. Whatever I will find that such a practice, whenever I will find that such a practice is in vogue, are is continuing everywhere, low or high. I shall certainly not countenance it. I shall never bear it. Whether, whenever I find that said practice of bribery, said practice of bribery and corruption, and nepotism and jobbery, these practices, wherever he says I find, and wherever they are in vogue being in fashion, wherever they are in practice, is continuing anywhere, low or high, whether in whatever position they are, whether these are high level nepotisms and bribery and corruption or low level, I shall certainly, surely not countenance it, will never tolerate it. I know there are people who do not quite agree with the decision, with the division of India and the partition of Punjab and Bengal. So, after the crimes, after the corruption, he comes in the next paragraph, the last paragraph, page 22. He comes to the point of the people who did not support Indian division of subcontinent, who were against this decision. They wished, they wanted to see India united. Now Quaid-e-Azam is addressing to those people who were the dissident elements, the people who were against the creation of Pakistan. So he says, I know there are people who do not quite agree with the division of India and the partition of Punjab and Bengal. Much has been said against it. So people had been, there was a great section of people who were against this. But now that it has been accepted, it is a duty of every one of us to be to us to loyally abide by it. So he says that once Pakistan has emerged on the map of the world, once it has been created, now everybody should forget those controversial issues. Everybody should forget those oppositions. They should stand together and work together. The next page, page 23, and they should accept it honorably. Honorably act according to the agreement which is now final and binding on all. So all the people who are against the creation of Pakistan, they should come in the fold of the law. They should abide by the constitution of Pakistan. They should no more go into opposition, because regard to agreement which is now final and binding on all. Once Pakistan is created, now everybody should honor it. But you must remember, as I have said, that this mighty revolution that has taken place is unprecedented. And he again addresses the people, the members of legislative body and the people in common, that the creation of Pakistan was a mighty revolution. And such type of revolution was unprecedented. It had no parallel, no example, unexemplary, unprecedented. One can quite understand the feeling and that exists. One can quite understand the feeling that exists between the two communities. Whenever one community is in majority and the other is in minority. So he refers to the subcontinent where there were two clear-cut communities. One was the Hindus who were in majority, and the other was Muslims who were in minority. And in one country, when there is a clear majority, on other side very clear minority, what happens there? They can never be on equal standing. The rights of minority are always danger at the hands of majority. But the question is whether it was possible or practicable to act otherwise. Act otherwise means, was it possible to make any other decision than making of Pakistan? Then what has done, which has been done, the creation of Pakistan. There was no other option. A division has to take place. So this was inevitable. There was no other solution than making a separate homeland for the Muslims. On both sides, in Hindustan and Pakistan, there are sections of people who may not agree with it. So it's not only with the Muslims in the Pakistan that there were many people, Muslims, who were against Pakistan in the subcontinent. Rather, there were also Hindus in Hindustan who were against this division of the land. So this is the lesson today. I hope that you just go over pattern, do it study, and see, try to solve the questions at the end. Tomorrow, inshallah ta'ala, we'll try to finish the lesson and do the next exercises. Best of luck. Allah Hafiz.